And we are live. That's right. Impromptu, like always. I just had to go live because the Omaha boys are running. Oh, yeah. I was going to hop on their panel. But for the first time, they ended their stream in less than 2 hours, less than an hour and 30 minutes, less than an hour and 20 minutes. I told them I'd be right there. And they made sure they was gone because I told them BoMac about to have a bad year. Now, I want to say this. First and foremost, I would love to see Terence Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez. I want Terence to win. So don't think that I'm hating because I'm making this stream. But the bottom line is this. BoMac's about to have a bad year. Soko just got beat. I had it 8-4. I thought Soko won the second and third round, and I thought he won the 11th and 12th round. And my thing is this. I didn't really see the coaching needed to dig Soko out of the hole. I didn't see the urgency until the 11th and 12th round when Pachenko kind of let off the gas. But had Soko been fighting the way he was in the 11th and the first round, I honestly think he could have won the fight. But you can't go back in time. You can't erase what was done. You had a lackluster performance. You showed out in the last 2 rounds, but where were you for the other 10? I didn't really see BoMac motivating. I didn't see BoMac breaking down strategies. I saw a very one-dimensional fighter. What's going on, Iceman? Very one-dimensional fighter in Soko. I didn't see no lateral movement. I didn't see no pivoting out the pocket. I didn't see any overhands, especially early. When you catch the tall, lanky dude, walk the jab, slip under, throw the overhand. There was a lot of shot selections I didn't see for Soko. And the thing about it is this. The next one up is who? Kiki? He's going to fight Baranchek. Unless this fake injury. Actually, I think that's for Shakur. I digress. Erase what I just said. It could be very bad for Kiki because Kiki could actually lose to Denise Baranchek. Now, Baranchek is older. That's his biggest negative. But the dude is a very good fighter. He's very skilled. You know, his last fight was kind of sloppy, but it was a sloppy fight. So, I mean, it's yet to be seen if Kiki can beat somebody like Denise Baranchek because people are sleeping on him. I wish this fight would have came earlier. Unfortunately, Baranchek, like most Eastern European fighters, went pro very old. And we'll have to see how he does. But if BoMac loses that fight with Kiki to Baranchek, oh my goodness. This is going to be a worse year than when Derek James had all his losses. Because what Canelo's about to do to Bud, and I will say again, I want Bud to win. I hope he wins. But I know he can't, and I know he won't. Because I just seen him at 154 in the fourth weight class, and he struggled against a guy with only 10 pro fights. Now, there's no way you're going to make me believe that Terence Crawford, who had zero power at 154, is going to go up there and potentially knock out Canelo Alvarez. It's not going to happen. Canelo's chin, too strong. Guys he's fought, hit too hard. They've done no damage to his chin. He stayed up on his feet his entire career. So to me, the game plan for Terence is going to be keep away. Get on that bicycle. Use that jab. Try to be like Beevil. But I look at Beevil. And Beevil even got tagged a lot. Beevil even got trapped against the ropes. Canelo, with the lack of height, trapped Beevil against the ropes more times than Beterbiev did, in my opinion. Canelo had Beevil trapped in the corner more times than Beterbiev did. And Beterbiev's a taller, stronger man. And Canelo trapped him more, in my opinion. So, and I thought, even though I thought Canelo was outclassed against Beevil, I thought Beevil looked more beat up by the end of the Canelo fight than he did against Beterbiev, who stopped everybody he's fought. Every single person who's been in there with Beterbiev has been stopped. And I think Beevil looked more bruised, damaged against Canelo than he did Beterbiev. And I had Beterbiev winning the fight. So when I look at the totality of their careers, where they're at, what they've done, Canelo's a better fighter. He's a better boxer. He's just better. You know, when people look at Canelo at 175, they forget that that's his sixth weight class where he became a champion. Yes, he struggled against Beevil, but you can't compare Israel to Beevil. Dimitri is way better than Israel. They're not even comparable. The quality of opposition that Bivol has fought in light heavyweight, 175, is leagues above Israel. Israel only had one good fight in his entire 10-fight career before getting into the ring on his 11th fight with Terence Crawford. So experience matters. And people are boosting up Israel like he's this amazing, dominant fighter with zero backing to prove it. He doesn't have the resume. He doesn't have the fights to be that elite. And if Virgil, who just lost to Bokacek, in my opinion, gets out there and beats Israel, especially if he knocks him out, that's going to look real bad on Terence. And I'm not doing triangle theories. I understand the styles make fights, but if Virgil Ortiz goes out there and sparks this dude or outclasses him, that just shows you how small Bud is for 154. I don't see it. I cannot. When Canelo starts hitting on them shoulders, hitting on them biceps, hitting on them forearms, hitting on that hip, I just don't see what Terence can do besides get broke down or try to run from him like he did against Postile. Not Postile. Postile? Or am I tripping? I need to look now because wasn't Postile where he fought off the back foot? No. Postile's who Tank Davis beat. I'm thinking of what's his name? Yeah, Postile. I'm right. Postile, I was right. Yeah. Because Postile lost to him first, lost to Josh Taylor, lost to Ramirez, even though I thought Postile beat Ramirez. That's right. What's going on, LT? You're more than welcome to get on here. Just, be careful what you say. We do run monetized, so we can't, this ain't the tavern where people can get super loose with their mouth. But who is it that Tank Davis knocked out with the P name? I'm drawing a blank. I was right about Terence. Fuck. I forget. It's the only 50-50 fight Tank Davis has ever been in. But anyways, I digress. The link's in the chat. LT, if you want to hop on, tell us how Canelo's going to beat Terence Crawford down, because I don't see it going any other way. I see Terence Crawford completely getting annihilated if he fights him. If he runs from him in boxes, I see him looking like Charlo, going into survival mode and losing on scorecards. But I just think it's going to be an easy fight for Canelo. I think he's going to walk through him. I think by the time they both get in the ring, Canelo's going to be about 20 pounds bigger than him. And I think you're going to see what it's like when Canelo's not fighting a 200-pound man by fight night. When he's got a little, but may come in 180 at the biggest. He might be 180 at the biggest. And not acclimated to the weight. That's why they're stretching it out so long. And they trying to get him up there on the snack program. Victor Conte over there giving him a really good cocktail right now to get him strong for that 168 match. And it doesn't look like he's going to fight in between. Which to me, I don't know. Terence always fights once a year. I thought he fought more than that. But apparently, when I looked it up for the last 3-4 years, he's only fought once a year, which is very inactive to a guy like Canelo who's fighting all the time. Canelo's always active. So I just see Canelo going in there, getting his IBF belt, and then Terence Crawford's going for undisputed. People are going to say greatness. I say selling the O, because that's all he's doing. He's selling his O. And I'm not mad at him. Everybody is deserving of a retirement package. And this just happens to be his severance package. Canelo Alvarez. This is how he's going to go out. He's like, you know what? I don't care about legacy. I don't care about keeping this O. I just want this $40 million, allegedly what he's going to get paid, to ride off into the sun with. Win, lose, or draw, now I have generational money. And me and my family, kids are good. My kids' are good. We can take this $40 million, build it into something, invest it. And that's just what I see. I see it as a severance package, a retirement plan. Go fight Canelo, get beat up. He's already up there in age. What will he be? 37 years old? Pedraza, that's right. Thank you, Iceman. I don't know why whenever I think post style, I think Pedraza. When I think Pedraza, I think post style. They look completely different because post style's bald. But I don't know why whenever I see their names, I always be thinking about one or the other. RL said he is picking Crawford. How the hell do you have little itty bitty Crawford beating Canelo? How? I want to know, RL. Break this down for me. Help me see what you see. Explain to me, because we already seen one of BoMac's fighters already lose. We've already seen it. Pachenko just beat up So Cold. And my thing is this, RL. Where was the in-corner instructions for So Cold? Where were they? I didn't hear nothing. All I heard BoMac says, oh, he got that round on you. He got that round on you. Turn it up. You need to turn it up. Turn it up. He got that round on you. He got that round on you. Like, what type of instructions is that? And I'm not hating on BoMac because he has a great fighter in Terence Crawford. But where were the instructions when So Cold needed them? Here's the thing about stick and move, RL. Do you think Crawford can stick and move better than Caleb Plant? Do you think he can stick and move better than Billy Joe Saunders? Both men, taller, bigger. At this stage in Terence's career, I would say were way more fleet of foot when they fought him. I don't know, man. I don't know how he's going to stick. Like, I literally watched, and even though I said it was an age fighter and I picked Canelo to beat Kovalev, and I thought it was a BS fight because Kovalev was on his last leg, still, the last thing you lose is power. I watched Canelo get hit by Kovalev and keep moving forward after being hit. Like, I literally watched this dude get hit in the face and walk down Kovalev. And if he can do that with a Kovalev punch, how is Crawford going to pop him, knock him off balance, pop him, disrupt him from getting on top of him? When I look at the quality of opposition that Canelo's been in with and all the styles, you got to understand, Canelo, out of every professional fighter, has seen more styles than any professional fighter, period. He has fought every single style you could think of. He has been in there with the who's who's. Now, you could argue some of them were past their better days. What about Triple G? He was walking through Triple G as well. He was taking the jab, especially the rematch. The rematch with Triple G was pushed to the back foot, jabbing, playing keep away from Canelo, setting up traps, making Canelo run into him, and Canelo kept marching forward. And Triple G, whether people like him or not, that dude could punch. He was a puncher, period. A real puncher for 160. And Canelo walked through him, especially in the rematch. Now, in the first fight, Canelo was more on the back foot, counter punching. They kind of switched roles. But like I said, I don't see Crawford doing it because I didn't see no power at 154. If Crawford would have went out there and did what he was supposed to do and beat up Israel, I don't care if he stopped him, but at least beat him up. At least make it decisive that you beat this dude. I had it a draw. I legit thought the fight was a draw. I didn't think Crawford won that fight. I didn't feel like Crawford should have walked away with the belt. I didn't see Crawford winning the fight. I had it 6 rounds to 6 rounds. Now, who am I? Just some dude on YouTube. But at the end of the day, there was nothing decisive about what Crawford did. And Crawford benefited a lot from the fact that Israel had only been in one 12-round fight prior to, and he got tired in the 10th round. Really, he started getting tired in the 9th round. But by the 10th round, he was dead to the world, and Crawford came on to win the last 3 rounds, and that's what saved him. Because he fought a dude who had no professional experience going 12 rounds. One fight's not enough. And he got tired late. What do you mean they caught his gloves before the fight? Which fight? Who are you talking about? And what did they catch about what gloves? This is news to me. Whose gloves did they catch before the fight? Triple G's? I don't remember anything going on with Triple G's gloves in the Canelo fight or Canelo's gloves in the Triple G fight. Any of the three of them. So whose gloves did they catch and what did they catch? Whose gloves? Israel's or Terence's gloves? And what was wrong with the gloves? What do you mean they caught the gloves? What does that mean? Because I'm about to Google it. I don't even know. I've never even heard this. Terence Crawford versus Israel Masvidal gloves. What happened? Oh, wow. It says Crawford elected to wear the same ones. They split at the seams a few minutes after Bud began working on the pads, delaying his warm up. Bro, that's a bad look because they busted against David Avanesian. Like literally, his gloves fell apart in the David Avanesian fight. And they were busting at the seams in the Avanesian fight. So they caught him and made him wear different gloves. That's what I'm reading from this article. And you know what's crazy about that? And I'm no conspiracy theory. I don't believe in egg weights. I don't believe in none of that stuff. But it's wild how Crawford stopped everybody on 147. And in this fight, his power disappeared. Let me see. Jeff Horn gloves. All right, let's look. Gloves with no foam padding to be used in Jeff Horn's fight. What? Gloves with no foam padding to be used in Jeff Horn's fight with Terence. I don't understand. What is it saying happened? Glove with no. The chances of a knockout in Jeff Horn's world title fight, Terence Crawford, has risen dramatically with controversy regarding gloves of choice has continued to rage forward in upcoming welterweight showdown. Between Jeff Horn, mandatory Terence Crawford. In a recent interview, Horn's trainer, Glenn Rushton, claimed that an Everlast representative informed him that Crawford intended to wear the controversial Everlast MX gloves. Rushton verbally lashed out, stating that his boxer would use the same because Crawford was nervous and looking for an advantage. BoMac rejected with an email sent to making it clear team is not planning to use Everlast gloves. We don't wear horsehair gloves, so stop crying like we're trying to cheat. That is not our style. Plays, boom, 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 boom. So let me look at the pictures. What gloves did he end up using in the fight? Let's go images. He's got on Everlast gloves. So the gloves that they said he wasn't going to use, he ended up using. Because he's definitely wearing Everlast against Jeff Horn. Huh. I never knew until right now, Iceman, that there was controversy around Terence Crawford's gloves. This is news to me. I've never heard this before. Never. I didn't know that his gloves fell apart against Israel. I didn't know Jeff Horn had an issue with his gloves. I didn't know the Avanesian fight because his gloves where they disintegrated was the same round he got the knockout, which is a bad look because they let it continue. That's wild. Well, Iceman, thank you for teaching me something. It's something to look for in the Canelo fight. What gloves does Canelo use? Canelo, ah, Alvarez gloves. Excuse me while I'm actually eating a taco. Who makes them? They all say no life boxing. Mm. So he wears in-house gloves made by Eddie Reynoso. What's going on, Vaughn? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. So I didn't know that Canelo uses his own brand of gloves pretty much because they're Eddie Reynoso's, which is his trainer. So, Iceman, are you trying to insinuate that Crawford is a dirty fighter? Because I never thought he was. I never even knew he had issues with his gloves. Hey, Vaughn, who you got in this fight? Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez? Hey, if y'all can hear me chewing, I'm sorry. I'll mute the mic as I chew. And Avenesian had a huge cut across his chest. How does that happen? I have no idea. Yeah, I don't like. Look, man, here's the deal. I understand that Victor Conte did his time. And when you do your time, you should be forgiven. However, I don't like the whole Blanco scandal and Victor Conte and allegedly him getting stuff to boxers like Shane Mosley, who I believe Shane Mosley allegedly said Victor gave him his stuff. I don't think a guy like that should be around in boxing. And to me, him introducing, according to what I heard, allegedly him introducing Martha, the head of VADA, to boxing seems like a conflict of interest to me when he runs his own sponsorship with these fighters who are on his shit. So I don't know. Victor could be clean and he could be running the most honest supplements there are. But my opinion is when you have somebody who's known to supply stuff, you don't let them anywhere near a sport. You want to be with personal like fitness models, bodybuilders, shit like that, cool. But when it actually comes to a physical competition, one person against another person, male or female, I have a problem with somebody who has all them scandals of PEDs being allowed in a sport. I have a real problem with that. And again, Victor could be 100% clean. He may have left that life behind, never done it again. But I don't know, man. Hold on one second. All right, I'm back. Side note, I was looking at a YouTube short of a lion, and you know what I can't stand? You know, lion lovers remind me of like fanboys and fangirls in boxing. It really irritates me when people like, oh, a lion could beat a tiger. No, the fuck it can't. There are numerous videos on YouTube of tigers wrecking lions, like literally. And we're not even talking about Siberian tigers. We're talking about like golden and Indian tigers that are the same size as the lion, sometimes smaller. We're talking about the little tigers are beating the shit out of lions. Bengal tigers who are equivalent in size beating the shit out of lions. Numerous videos. And people still be like, oh, the lion's a king of the jungle. It don't even live in the jungle. It lives in the savannah, for one. All right. There's only one king of the jungle, and that motherfucker comes with stripes. Number two, a tiger don't need 7, 8 of them jumping on one thing to take it down like lions do. Lions are pack fighters. Tigers are solo hunters. It's a whole different world when you can take something down by yourself versus needing a whole pack to back you up. Number three, and we're off boxing for a second. I'm going on my tangent that has nothing to do with boxing. Number three, tigers, when they fight like house cats. They have amazing balance. They'll jump back on 2 legs and start jabbing the shit out of you, throwing hooks with their front paws. Lions, they're kind of like grapplers. They can't fucking fight. They always have 3 paws on the ground, swipe with 1. Or they'll try to run at you and bite you on the neck. That's their way of taking you down. They bite you on the neck. A tiger is like a bear. It will maul you. It will literally swipe you to death until you just can't move. Lions, if you're going to get killed by an animal, a lion is much better than a tiger because a lion is going to bite you around the throat, choke you out, and you're not going to know what happens. A tiger is just going to maul you and eat you while you're conscious until you pass out. So tigers are way better hunters, way better fighters. They're way stronger. They're way bigger. Like, there have been Siberian tigers who get up to 800 pounds. A big male lion is 550 pounds. Yes, RL, an elephant. An elephant could probably stomp out a tiger, I would assume. But you know, in the wild, the fat things is what run everything. You got hippos, murder cows. Like, a hippo will fuck up a lion and a tiger all day long. They'll just run into it like 35 miles per hour. And you think you're safe in water? Nope. It can swim faster than it can run. Like, what type of shit is that? Oh, you think you're going to go up a tree? Nope. The hippo's just going to knock the tree down. You think you're safe in a car? Nope. It's just going to flip your car. So, elephants are big. Hippos are deadly. That's the real king. A fat ass, a fat man, like Tyson Fury. It's a fat man. The hippo runs everybody. On National Geographic, I've seen crocodiles try to eat lions, right? Try to snatch them up whenever they're drinking water. I've seen it. I've also seen little baby hippos gnawing on crocodiles because it scares shitless of the parents. They just allow them to gnaw on them. Iceman, let's jump in the panel. Me and you, 2 non-panel guys. Come on, bro. Y'all more than welcome to hop on the panel if you want to. Right now, my talking's kind of slowed down because, you know, this is the time whenever I eat food. So I'm over here eating this taco with sour cream and cheese, and it's really good. I got some rice and beans. Amazing. Hold on, let me drop the link. Where the Terrence Crawford fans? Where y'all at? Prove me wrong. Come on, Omaha. Can we get Omaha to stand up? Is anybody out there representing Terrence Crawford? RL is. RL said Crawford's going to win. He's going to stick and move. I think Crawford's going to end up getting stuck and getting moved. But a lot of them Omaha dudes are going quiet since Soko got beat up. He said, nah, I'm not an entertainer. I don't talk much. I'm boring. See, I'm going to tell you the truth. You know why I don't do a lot of lives? It's not because I can't do a live. It's not because I can't talk boxing. It's because I'm very ADD. And there be times when I don't want to talk. I just want to sit back, be quiet, and listen. And then there be times I want to talk. But to be a solo podcaster is very lackluster if you just sit back, be quiet. You know what I'm saying? That's why I rarely ever do lives. But I was hoping Terrence Crawford fan out there would hop on. Tell me how I'm wrong while I eat this food. Because I think BoMac about to take a lot of losses this year. That's what I think. All right. I don't know who Vaughn is, but we're going to give him a shot. Hopefully we don't see nothing crazy. Hopefully he's not a troll. Here we go. What's going
What's
on?
up, homie? What's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Enjoying the podcast here.
Appreciate it.
So, I think Terence Crawford has a better chance than Zero at beating Canelo.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think he has a zero chance. And as crazy as that sounds, because everybody has a puncher's chance, I don't even think he has that. But let me know why you think he has a shot.
Well, I think he's got better skills overall than Canelo. I mean, Canelo's got that defense and that granite chin. Yeah. But how in the hell does he beat Bud?
Did you see
Tell me
Bud's
that.
last fight? Did you see him fight Israel Masvidal at 154?
I did.
So I'm
That's
not going to
one.
say that,
That's one performance.
but that was a performance with a guy with only 10 fights.
10 professional fights.
Yeah, but when you're fighting a dude with over 40 fights, I think 45 fights, I think he's got 46 now since the win. When you're fighting a guy with 45 fights, you're significantly out experienced. I won't say outclassed because he wasn't, but the experience is way against you.
I'll grant you that. Yeah.
And the thing about Israel is I don't think people take this into account. All right. Terence Crawford threw over 150 more punches. Now, I'm not saying CompuBox is the litmus test. I'm not saying it's the standard goal. I'm just using it as one metric. But Crawford threw over 150 more punches. And by the end of the fight, he only outlanded Israel by 11.
Dude, that's fine. I mean, that's how fights go. Styles make fights. And you can't judge everybody on their last fight. I know that's how it goes, is you just judge everybody on their last fight. But over the body of work, I mean, can you not see that Bud's probably got a chance here?
So here's how I'll counter that, right? To me, the rubber starts to meet the road as these guys go up in weight. Because as they go up in weight, they start to lose their advantages. Because everybody cuts a tremendous amount of weight to make weight in the first weight class. And as they continue on through their career, they're just getting closer and closer to their natural weight. Okay.
Right.
Now, what ends up happening is as you're getting closer to your natural weight, going up in the weight classes, you're starting to fight guys who are either the same size as you or much bigger than you, because as you're going up to your natural, they're cutting down to get to that higher weight class that you're moving into. So eventually you become the smaller man.
True.
Now, my question to you would be, how many Manny Pacquiao's do we have? How many Floyd Mayweathers do we have? How many Canelos do we have? How many Tommy Hearns do we have? How many guys have you seen go 5+ weight classes?
Very few.
And that's my point. So not only are you seeing a guy who struggled in his 4th weight class against the most inexperienced champion and probably the weakest guy there amongst the champions, not only did he struggle at 154, but now he's going to jump up 2 more weight classes and go into a 6th weight class against a guy like Canelo.
Yeah, I get your point there. I get your point.
And like when I look at Canelo, right, I've never seen Canelo struggle with a professional novice. I've seen him struggle with Floyd Mayweather, but he was 23 years old. I watched him not too many years after that struggle with Lara. Very lackluster fight. Lara did a lot of movement, made Canelo miss a lot, but he didn't throw a lot.
Right. Triple G, and then Bivol.
Right. So with Triple G, it's controversial. I thought Canelo lost the first fight. I actually thought the second fight was a draw. But I would not be mad if somebody said Canelo won the second fight. But when you look at a guy like Triple G probably walked to that ring 185, 190 pounds of solid muscle. Not only is he big, but he hits hard as shit. Right. Unlike Terence Crawford, who's significantly smaller. Because this is what I look at. When they asked Crawford about why he didn't do as good as he normally does, the first thing he said was, I can't believe how strong Israel was. He was a strong guy. He's a strong man. And in my mind, I'm thinking, if you think little 154-pound Israel Masvidal is strong, what's going to happen when you get in there with Canelo, who on fight night is used to fighting guys who are 6 foot plus, and they walk into the ring every bit 195 to 200 and some odd pounds?
Yeah, but size and weight ain't all there is to be said about that shit, dude. You know that.
I understand that,
Come on.
But it is a factor when that size and weight comes with a lot of skills.
It's a factor. But it's not everything. I mean, like by your logic here, Usyk, after his fight with Chisora, should have been counted out in the heavyweights, right?
Well, the thing about Usyk is, here's what you got to understand, right? Usyk's not that small of a guy. I know a lot of people like to say that he came from cruiserweight, right? However,
no, he's the same size as Ali.
Right, and he was taller than Chisora.
Right.
So Chisora's like 6'2", normally fights around 250 to 265. You know, his weight fluctuates, but he's shorter than Usyk, very come forward fighter, and he made Usyk go life or death. The thing about heavyweight is it's not like any other weight class, because the human body, or I should say head, is not meant to be hit. You're not meant to be punched in the head. It is not something. They say 6'3", but whenever you see Usyk get in there, he's taller than 6'3". He was like, how tall is Daniel Dubois? 6'4". Him and him looked eye to eye. There was no difference between Dubois and Usyk. There was very little height difference between Usyk and AJ. AJ, I would say, is a legit 6'6", and there was barely any height difference. So I don't believe he's 6'3". I think Usyk is 6'4". In fact, his box rec used to say 6'4", and they changed it to 6'3". So I don't know. I know he was significantly taller than Chisora as well. So again, at the end of the day, when you look at heavyweight, a 200-pound man can knock out a 300-pound man. There's a huge... It's the amount of force that you could apply to somebody's chin when you get about 200 pounds and greater. That's why there's no different weight classes, unless you count Bridger weight, which nobody does because there's no fighters who even fight at Bridger weight, right? Fake weight class. That's why 200 pounds plus you're fighting guys of any weight because a 200-pound man can knock out a 300-pound man if he lands on the chin because of the amount of force that your body can apply. However, if you flip it and take a 160-pound man and put him against a 200-pound man, it's going to be significantly harder for just that 40-pound difference of a 160-pounder to knock out a 200-pounder than it would be for a 200-pounder to say knock out a 260-pounder. Just because at 160, you don't have enough weight behind your ass when you're throwing the punch.
I disagree.
I'm telling you, there's a reason why there's not 100 weight classes in between 200 to 300.
I disagree. I completely disagree. I get what you're saying.
Right.
I get what you're saying. But if we're comparing, Bud to Canelo against these heavyweights, then there's not that much of a difference, bro.
I believe there is. Like, I'll give you a prime example, right? Let's just look at 30 pound. Yeah, we'll do a 30-pound difference, right? Really 32 pounds, right? Look at 122 and Nui, right? Look at how fast his hands fly. Look at how quickly he can skip across the ring, okay? Now compare his hand speed and all the guys who fight at 122 to a guy who fights at 154. They're nowhere near as fast. The reason why is as you carry more weight, your body starts to slow down. However, as you carry more weight, you have more body weight to apply behind your punch, especially if you know how to throw a punch. So there comes a point to where you weigh enough to where it doesn't matter what you're fighting. You can knock it down if you land right.
Oh, come on, brother. Come on, brother. For real.
I'll give you a prime example. Look at Steve Cunningham, Floor, and Tyson Fury. Way smaller. Cruiserweight, moving up. Put him on his ass.
Yeah, but by your logic, the more a guy weighs, then, he automatically wins.
That's not what I'm saying. But I'll give you an example, right? A big man who can't fight will lose to a little man who can fight, okay? However, if the big man has a significant size advantage, he could still potentially beat the little man who can fight, even if he can't fight. Just off sheer size and strength, there is a possibility the big man can win, okay? If you flip it, a little man who cannot fight has zero chance of beating a big man who can fight.
Yeah, but we're beyond that. Whenever you're talking about Bud and Canelo, you're at the elite of the elite.
Right.
Agreed?
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So that shit goes out the window, bro.
But it doesn't, because the thing about it is you have an elite fighter in Canelo, okay, who more than likely by fight night is going to get into that ring. I think Canelo truthfully weighs around like 195 by the time he steps in that ring.
Probably.
What's that?
Plus some Victor Conte,
Well, he's with Terrence, not Canelo. But the fact is we're comparing elite fighters against elite fighters.
Mexican pig meat.
Yeah. I know. But what I'm saying is if you have an elite little man fighting an elite big man who's much bigger, like Canelo's going to be much bigger, it is possible for the little man to win, but the chances are so small that normally every time the little man loses.
I heard that argument whenever Usyk fought Fury.
But Usyk's not that small. He's still 226 pounds.
But the weight gap, the size gap,
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you get up to heavyweight, it's different. It seems like when you get above 200 pounds, you have enough weight and strength to come. Like, how could I do this? Okay, I'll give you an example, right? Let's just say strength, not even using fighting, right? There are very few men who aren't juiced to the gills who are 160 pounds that could bench press, say 405, okay? Very few. However, there are several men at 200 pounds that could bench press 405 easily. Several. And my point is, when your body gets to a certain weight and size, it gets much stronger. A 200-pound man is much stronger and can move heavier weight than a little man can. Like the muscles just get denser and they get stronger, more explosive.
I understand that, but Canelo's not a 250-pound guy.
He's not. But here's
He is
what
a great he is a great fighter. I'll give you that.
I think.
But I don't think that this fight's out of the question. I don't think that you're looking at Bud coming in and just getting dropped.
I'm not saying, well, it depends on how he approaches the fight. If Terrence, in my opinion, goes in to be a dog like he claims to be, I think he gets stopped fast. Now, if he goes in there and does what Charlo did and runs all night long, I think he'll survive, but I think he'll lose on points. And I think that's the only approach he can do. He has to fight off the back foot. He has to play keep away. Because the minute he lets that dog come out and he trades in that pocket and Canelo hits him with a counter shot, it could turn into a Amir Khan all over again. I'm telling you, like, do you see the state of how all the fighters that fight Canelo are left in, how battered and bruised they are? I don't think a little guy like Crawford is going to be able to take the damage that's about to be inflicted on him by a guy. In my opinion, Canelo doesn't even try to score. Canelo just tries to hit you. He'll hit you on the shoulder, on the bicep, like he did Smith, to where it looked like he separated his bicep from hitting it so much. He'll hit you on the elbow, the forearm, the wrist, the hip. He'll hit you on the side. He don't hit you to score. He just hits you to land. And I have literally watched this dude lead guys. Whether he stops them or not is irrelevant. But every dude that gets in a ring with him is left looking like they got beat by a baseball bat. They are bruised from the head to the waist. Every single guy that fights him. And we're talking about guys who are 6 foot plus tall and significantly bigger and stronger than Crawford. And I think that power, that size, and Canelo is arguably one of the best counterpunchers in boxing. I don't see how Bud beats him unless he fights for keep away.
Really?
Like if you trade in the pocket with Canelo, if you're Crawford, you're playing with fire, in my opinion. It's literally like holding a firecracker in your hand. How long can you do it before it blows up your hand?
That may be so. That may be so, but man, you've got to admit, Bud's probably the fiercest opponent that he's faced in years.
I don't know. Like when I look at 168, I don't know if Terence Crawford could be the Callum Smith. I don't know if he could be the Caleb Plant.
Is it at 168?
Yeah, it's at 168.
Is that for sure?
Yeah, 100%.
It's not a catch weight.
No catch weight, no rehydration clause.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's going to be a Canelo's weight class for Canelo's belts. No rehydration clause, no catch weight. And that's my thing. Like to give you an idea, and I'm not saying size is everything because skills do pay the bills, but Canelo is very skilled too. But to give you an idea of the size difference, right? When Crawford fought Israel Masvidal, right? They did the weigh-in the night of the fight. Crawford walked to the ring 169 pounds, okay? That is practically the weight that Canelo dehydrates his body and saps himself and kills himself to get to on the scale. So a depleted Canelo is the same size as a rehydrated, ready to fight Terence Crawford. I don't know, man. I don't think Crawford can beat him. And then when you take into account that they're the same height, they're going to be looking eye to eye. Crawford's got longer arms, but he don't have longer legs or a longer torso. Like anytime Crawford can hit Canelo, Canelo could pretty much hit him.
Crawford has better skills. He's got better footwork. He's got faster hands. I mean, I just think that you're not giving Crawford the proper respect coming into this fight.
I don't see it. Like I just watched him fight Israel Masvidal, and he went, in my opinion, not like in a fight where he was going to get knocked out, but in a fight of winning the fight, he literally went life or death with a guy with 10 fights.
Yeah.
And the only thing that changed for Crawford wasn't his skills, wasn't his speed. He was slightly older, but Father Time doesn't look like it's affected him. The only thing that changes, he went up another 7 pounds in weight and fought at 154 for the first time. And for the first time, we saw Crawford look like he was void of power. He didn't hurt Israel one time, and he was struggling. And I look at Israel Masvidal. What do you think Canelo would do to Israel Masvidal at 168?
Styles make fights, though. I mean, for real, styles make fights. You can't compare. You're comparing apples to oranges.
I hear what you're saying, and
I'm not a fanboy. You know, I'm a fan of
no.
no man. I'm a fan of fights. I just don't see Canelo dominating Crawford like that. I don't.
I mean, I respect your opinion. Like, you know, a lot of people say Crawford couldn't beat Spence, and he proved everybody wrong. But I just think this is a huge difference. Like, Canelo and Earl Spence Jr. are not cut from the same cloth. Like, we're talking about a guy like Crawford who is a multi-divisional champion, a guy who's been a two-time undisputed champion like Crawford. Canelo's not a career welterweight like Earl Spence was.
Right.
We're talking about a guy who is beat the best of the best in the who's who's in every division but 168, because I will say he did skip over Benavidez, but he beat all the other champions.
Right. Yeah.
Convincingly.
I agree with you there. I agree with you. It's a huge step up.
And that's my thing. Like, if Crawford and Canelo were the same size, right, I would give Crawford all the advantages in the world. But I don't think Crawford is skilled enough to overcome Canelo's skills plus his size, plus his chin. Like, I will say, and I believe Canelo's got the best chin in all the boxing. I don't think anybody has a better chin than Canelo.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, so far.
Well, yeah, of course. You only got a good chin until you don't.
Yeah, until Father Time.
But oh, you put 1,000 on Crawford? Or are you telling them to put 1,000? No, RL. You put 1,000 on Crawford and thank yourself later. Don't tell other people to do it unless you've done it yourself. That's how I look at it, Vaughn. People telling you to make bets, that they need to make the bet too. If they're going to tell you to do it, they better have done that much or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, Usyk's got a good chin, but he ain't got no body. We've seen Usyk hurt many times to the body. Many times.
You ain't never seen him lose.
What's that?
You ain't never seen him lose.
No, we've never seen him lose, but we do see an asterisk against Daniel Dubois when he got hit in the body.
Oh, come on. You can't do that. Ain't no asterisks.
I believe it was a low blow, personally. I'll show you. I'm going to post a picture. I'm going to share screen so you can see a picture that I did a long time ago, right? And I'm going to just show you how I believe it was a low blow. But what you have to understand is I've had more people argue with me than agree with me that it was a low blow. And I even did it like this. Can you see the breakdown of it? So
Yeah.
if you look at it, I even outlined his belt right here. That's his waistband to show the top of it, the bottom of the belt. And then I wrote a whole bunch of stuff so people could see. This right here, 2/3 of his glove is in the illegal zone. Like that's I wrote in the blue. That's his legs. This
Yeah.
right here is Usyk's legs where this glove is touching. That's definitely. I don't think he hit him in the balls. I think he hit him on the thigh and like in the lower abdomen. Looking at it, and he claimed he got hit in the balls, but in my opinion, 2/3 of this glove was below the belt. But what I'm saying is there is an asterisk, even though I made this picture and said it was illegal blow. There's more people that'll argue with you that it was a legal blow than agree with us that it was an illegal blow. So that's what I mean by an asterisk.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, in those cases, it's the ref's call.
It
You
is.
know what I mean? I mean,
Referee.
BoxRec says what BoxRec says, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah, and Triple D ended up quitting for his second time in that fight, like he did in the fight against Joe Joyce.
Yeah, the Joe Joyce fight was a little different, though. He has orbital bone shattered. I
No, he
mean,
didn't. He did not.
he didn't.
No. Well, yeah, he did. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about when Joe Joyce had his eye messed up. So, yeah, Daniel Dubois, you're right. His orbital bone was shattered. But what about Inouye when he was fighting Donaire and fought through it and won?
Do what?
So Inouye had the same injury and beat Donaire. He did not quit. He did not give up. He went on to win the fight.
Well,
Ah,
Inui's a monster. I mean,
well, I agree.
again, you're comparing apples to oranges there, man.
Well, not really. I'm comparing broken orbital bones to another fighter with a broken orbital bone. That's apples to apples. Whether one fighter quits or one fighter continues the fight, that
Yeah,
has nothing to do with skill set. That has to do with your grit and determination to win.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like I'm not comparing their fighting style, and I'm not comparing them as fighters to each other. I'm just saying both dudes had the same injury. One dude quit, the other one didn't. That's all I'm
Right,
saying.
right. Kind of brings me back to Andrew Galata against Mike Tyson when Tyson shattered Galata's orbital bone
Yeah,
and
and
he
he quit.
refused to fight on.
Yeah, but I did see an article that said that was the smartest thing that Galata did because had he continued to fight, he could have died.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those orbital bone fractures, those are serious fucking bullshit, dude.
Yeah, but I feel like Deontay Wilder. I want to go out on my shield. You got to kill me in that ring. Not that I want to die, but I'm not giving up for nothing.
Oh man, you're not a Wilder fan, are you?
I mean, in what aspect?
I mean, just overall. I mean, I get what you're saying, but
Do I?
overall,
I would say this. Do I like Deontay Wilder as a person? Yes. I love his story. I love that he started fighting for his daughter who had spinal bifida, and that's why he did it to make money to pay for the surgery. Um, I like that we had a heavyweight champion, which we hadn't had in a long time from America. I did not like all the excuses he came up when Tyson Fury beat him. And I think his power is extremely overrated, overhyped. I don't consider him one of the hardest punchers in boxing. I don't. But like I said, as a person, I like his story. I like him. But as a fighter, I think he was extremely overhyped and
yeah,
never was the goods. Not like I think he was match made very well to beat a whole bunch of people who weren't skilled. And then when he stepped up, he lost every step up fight but Luis Ortiz. And Luis Ortiz never did anything. I mean, that's literally his best win, them two fights against Ortiz. But other than that, Tyson Fury beat him 3 times. He lost to Joseph Parker. He got laid flat against Zilly Zhang.
right.
And in those top echelon fights, his power never showed up.
I would say he lost every top 5 fight that he ever fought. But
Yeah,
his power brought him out of 2/3 of those.
I agree with that.
And I also hate his fan following. Oh my god, dude. How in the
Well, this
fuck
thing,
do
I'll
you
tell you this.
worship a motherfucker like that? Jesus Christ.
This is what I would say. Whenever you go on YouTube, a lot of boxing channels have people that it seems like they're a cult follower of that fighter,
True.
and their followers will make you not like the fighter. But that's not the fighter's fault. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can't hold the delusional people against the fighter because the fighter has nothing to do with the delusional people. It's just they're delusional, and you got to try your best not to let these people make you hate the fighter. Because I'm gonna tell you, there's people that make me hate Terrence Crawford. There's people that make me hate Canelo. There's people that make me hate Deontay Wilder, Devin Haney. I can go on and on and on and on because
Right.
it's like they think these people could walk on water, and the fandom from them, if you let it, can make you hate the fighter, and the fighter ain't done nothing wrong.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you 100% right there. But Jesus Christ, some of these motherfuckers, Wilder, Canelo, man, these guys have some type of cult following.
But I'll give you another one. Lomachenko, he had a really bad cult following too.
True.
And I try to stay as unbiased. And I tell you one right now that's got a huge cult following. Tank Davis.
Ain't
I don't think
fucking
Tank Davis
Davis.
has done anything.
Yeah. He ain't
Um,
done shit.
he don't fight nobody. Like he gets all these accolades, all this notoriety for beating people he's supposed to beat. But he's not fighting the people he's supposed to fight and hasn't fought them for a long time. He's let all of his peers do more than him. Even George Kambosos did more than Tank Davis.
Yep.
That's insane.
I agree. All these people worship him and say that he's still the face of boxing. That's the dumbest thing I ever fucking heard of.
No, I would say the face of boxing is Canelo Alvarez. Behind Canelo Alvarez, I would say it's probably still Anthony Joshua, even despite the losses or losses, I should say. And outside of that, I would say judging off numbers alone, it's probably gonna be like Tyson Fury. And then I don't know where Tyson Fury goes from now because he retired. So I don't know what Usyk can do on a pay-per-view when he's not fighting Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
his triple D numbers weren't that good.
yeah. I would venture to say that Turkey Al Sheikh is the face of boxing right now. What do you think about that?
I mean, I can't disagree with that because he's making all the fights that we want to see.
He is.
So I mean, he's definitely came in and made a huge impact on boxing. Like we've seen so many. I don't want to say sheltered, but I'll say protected fighters start to get losses because he's making the best fight the best. And that's
I
when
love
boxing's
it.
at its best.
I love it. I think we're in a golden era of boxing right now, and we're too into it to realize that it is what it is.
No, I could definitely agree with that. And that's what I'm saying. Like before Turkey came to boxing, like I'm gonna put it like this. When you have 10 big names in a division and they're all undefeated, there's a problem. That means they're not fighting each other. They're not fighting who they should be fighting. There are too many undefeated fighters post Mayweather era. And it's only because the fights that we want to see never get made and they're fighting soft touches. So all the top names are all undefeated.
Yep.
So when you have an error like that, it's not a good error. But when you have an error with the top guys where they have one loss, two losses, you might have one guy who's undefeated, but all the other ones have racked up a loss or two. They're all good fighters, but that means they're all fighting each other like they did back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. You could go before
70s.
that, 40s,
Yep.
30s, 20s, 80s. Really, I would say the 90s, early 2000s is like the fall of boxing. Probably the last era would be like the Lennox Lewis era where everybody was fighting everybody. Maybe Klitschko, because Klitschko fought a lot of the top guys at heavyweight. And during his era, you had the Roy Joneses, James Tonys, etc. All those guys were fighting everybody. So I like Turkey. I like what he's done. I really like the fights that he sets up. I mean, shit, we just seen for the first time we saw a prospect in Jared Anderson go up there and fight Bacoli, which was not a good fight for him because of how it turned out. But we got to see how good Jared Anderson really was against a really good fighter in Bacoli who's virtually unknown to the casual.
Right, but now he's known.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's a golden era. It's a golden era, and I'm here for it. Uh, you know, I'm not that old, but I'm kind of old. I kind of fell off with boxing in the early 2000s, and then through the Klitschko era. Been a heavyweight fan all my life, uh, and then the lighter weights are just kind of they're here and there.
See,
Um,
I love the lighter weights. I think the smaller you go, the more skilled they are.
well, yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. But the money's in the heavyweight division, dude.
Oh yeah, it's always been there.
Like everybody follows the heavyweight division. They always have.
Well, the reason why is I think it's just that people are seeing people who are larger than life, and it gives little kids like that Superman person to look up to and want to become.
Yeah.
When you see people who are just bigger than normal people, they're bigger than life, so to say. Versus when you see the smaller guys, while they are really good and people who like fighting will watch them, that's why I think it doesn't have the same effect or popularity. It's just because they're not larger than life people. When you see a guy fighting who's significantly smaller than you, that's not larger than life to you.
Well, that's true. But I mean, you remember back to the Four Kings? Back when you had
Well, yeah, Sugar Ray, Tommy
yeah,
Hearn, Hagler, Duran.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have to be the biggest guy to get the draw. It was just exciting. And that may be because you got to watch it on fucking ABC instead of paying $99 for it. I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
pay-per-views have gotten ridiculous in the pricing. And I mean,
Hagler Hearns was on ABC, dude.
so like that's way beyond my lifetime. But like when I was really young, I was coming up in the telltale ends of like USA fights. They would have fights on ESPN, ESPN2. Like I said, you would have like Tuesday night fights on USA. Um,
Yeah.
and then HBO was really big with the boxing. Showtime was really big with the boxing. A lot of the
Yeah.
broadcasters have all left boxing.
Well, that's true, but why?
Because fighters won't fight each other. I think you got to understand, like the fighters, a lot of fighters, and I say, and I don't blame Mayweather because Mayweather made an extraordinary amount of money. But the problem is everybody wants to be Mayweather without doing Mayweather work. Whether you like Mayweather or not, Mayweather still fought 23, 24 champions, whether they were current or X-rated champions, and beat them. Um, Truth be told, if I was to think about Floyd Mayweather Jr., there's only three people I can think about that he didn't fight that he should have fought. And one of those he really shouldn't have fought because it turned out to be a cheater. I would say the first one would have been Costa Zoo. That'd have been a really good fight for him. Costa Zoo was the number one guy at 140. The second guy I would say is Antonio Margarito, but he turned out to be a cheater with plasters. So I don't care that that fight never happened, with hindsight being 2020. And then the last guy that I always thought would beat Mayweather, that Mayweather would never fight, was Paul Williams. Not a lot of people know him, but I think Paul Williams would have beat the brakes off of Mayweather personally. He may not have. He might have lost, but I always thought Paul Williams was the guy to beat him. Outside of that, Mayweather beat everybody there was to beat until we lost Vaughn. But yeah, Mayweather beat everybody outside those three, in my opinion. And I mean, there is some argument to be had that Mayweather beat the guy who beat Kasazu, who was Ricky Hatton. So, hey, RL, I don't think Turkey wants to make Wilder versus AJ. I think Turkey wants to make AJ versus Bacoli. if Fury's retired, because that's the fight that he mentioned. He didn't say Wilder and AJ until Talk Sports brought it up. He was like, "Yeah, I would like to see that fight too." I'm gonna give Vaughn a couple of minutes to come back. If he doesn't come back, I'm gonna end the stream. It was good talking with somebody brand new. I didn't know if he was gonna be a real person or a troll. Um, he sounded a little bit older than me, but it's good to hear what people who have been around a lot longer than you think too. Before I go, y'all in the chat, y'all got anything y'all want me to bring up? Because I think I'm gonna end the stream here, take a shower, I'm done eating, jump into bed, get ready for work. Nope, nope. Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody who stopped through. Vaughn, shout out to you for being on the panel for the first time. You're more than welcome to hop on anytime that you see me go live. I'm going to try to start dropping more videos. I've just personally lost my drive to make boxing videos because of the zone always hitting me with fake copyright strikes. So it's kind of like killed my drive to do content on a regular every day like I used to. But I'm gonna start getting back into dropping videos. Right now, it's just been the occasional live. And to those who get this on the playback, I know y'all like me dropping like update videos when the fights happen, giving y'all a breakdown of how I saw it, so y'all know who won. I'm gonna try to bring that back to my subs, who that's what they really enjoy, because where they're at, they either don't have access to watch it on stream or cable or pay-per-view, or it's not offered it where they're from. So I'm gonna try to get back to that for y'all. But other than that, that's all I got for tonight. We've had a couple of people come in and say Terence Crawford's gonna win. The guy that was just on the panel thought Terence Crawford would win, but me personally, I got Canelo by destruction. I think Canelo's gonna be too big, too strong, and really, truthfully, I think he's more skilled. But y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Y'all have